What is good? What is good? What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back to another episode of the Darrel Long Show, hosted by your boy, Darrel Long. And today we're going to be talking about Officer Race Tatum and his wife. Today we're going to be further examining Officer Race Tatum and his wife. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be breaking it down. And I'm going to show you guys multiple videos that is going to help you guys understand why Race Tatum, why he is the way he is, and why him and his wife think the way they think when we're talking about young black males, no matter if we're talking about Nolan Wells, Carmelo Anthony, right? Cyrus, I think his name is Cyrus Mack, the young man from the Asian shooting, right? And also we have them talking about why black men prefer to be with a white woman. A white woman. Yeah. We're going to have to really go into this today. You feel me? We're going to really have to break down Officer Tatum's wife. So let's go ahead and go into the footage now. So Officer Tatum brought his wife, Karen, or Karen, one of the two, Karen, onto the show to react to biracial couples, right? Interracial couples, right? And interracial couples doing parenting videos. Now, these interracial couples are online basically talking about how they protect their spouses. In this situation, we have a white man with a black woman, and he is saying, I don't lie about my culture. We don't do that. I don't allow white men to call my black woman anything else but a queen, because the black woman is God. You see, this white man understands that the true way to be a good husband is to simp for your wife. It's really just that simple. So Officer Tatum, he don't like that. He don't like that a white man is acknowledging qualities in a black woman that are positive. Tatum don't like that. Right? So him and his wife, they hop on the microphone and they start getting shit popping. Let's go.
Lexi and I have, we also don't let our families say anything negative about our spouse's culture. Lexi and I have both stuck up to our families to make sure that we preserve the atmosphere around our children and around our own marriage in general.
Yes, stereotypes exist, but we do not overgeneralize in front of our children.
Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bells, get notifications anytime I go live.
Fuck that. We ain't giving you no clout like that. So again, you have a white man. Shout out to you, Vixen. We have a white man saying that he loved his black woman. He said, we have a white man saying the black woman is God. Okay? Now, I want you guys to pay attention to how, despite Officer Tatum having a white wife and his children being mixed children, biracial children, by minute 2 of this video, Officer Tatum is going to say that mixed kids are psychologically damaged. By minute 20, right, about 20 minutes into the video, Officer Tatum's white wife is comparing getting pulled over for speeding to talking to black parents about their kids in police encounters, right? She thinks it's the same thing. So I'm going to go through this one claim at a time. What's actually true, what's just grifting and opinions dressed up to make money. And we're going to lay out this racist playbook that these coons have now to make money. Also, we got to talk about how this mentality correlates back to the Nolan Wells family and why Officer Tatum and his wife recently have been attacking Christine Wells. Is that her last name? Christine Wells? Nolan Wells' mother. We're going to break down all of that right now, man. Let's get directly into the video, man.
Welcome to the Darrel Long Show, bringing you the best in commentary, vlogs, video essays, and reactions.
Let's get into this. I told you we had to talk about this. This biracial couple is online just doing the most. And I don't know if they're doing it for attention or they really believe the stuff that they're saying. Their page is _the Cole Life, and I think their last name must be Cole. But I brought a special guest in here to talk about this because there's nobody better to talk about a biracial children in a mixed couple like my wife, who's white. So welcome to the show.
Now, don't forget about this, right? This man has 2 baby mamas. Officer Tatum has 2 baby mamas, and they're both white. They're both white women.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
No, I said what I said, Dr. Umar. I said what I said, Dr. Umar. This is a snow bunny demon. Okay? Let's go.
So,
Wife.
welcome to the show, Corinne.
Thank you, honey.
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. These people triggered me yesterday because I'm scrolling
Yeah, you
through.
were big triggered.
I mean, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and we got biracial kids.
Yeah.
And when I see people doing stuff like this, it just reminds me of why so many mixed kids are so toe up. They're psychologically
Kaepernick syndrome.
damaged.
Yeah.
The what?
Toe up. They're
They're calling
psychologically
Kaepernick syndrome.
damaged.
And that's the first thing that we got to talk about. The Colin Kaepernick syndrome. The Colin Kaepernick syndrome. I want you guys to pay attention to who this white woman specifically is choosing to use as an example of a bad mixed race person, right? So if you think like Colin Kaepernick, you got the Colin Kaepernick syndrome now. And this is a black man allowing a white woman to say this while Colin Kaepernick was fighting for black people and losing his job.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Look, make sure y'all get those donations in today, man. Anything gets supported. I don't even do a donation goal no more. I would like 150 per show, but it don't matter, man. Anything to support the show, Sharon Bracey.
For clout. That is the solution to this. The solution, Ed, is for you to send a goddamn 99-cent super sticker. So this way I don't have to go to Brokeback Mountain. That shit crazy.
All right, let's keep going.
Damaged.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they don't have an identity because their parents are doing this.
Yeah.
All right, pull up the clip. We're going to watch it together.
No, they feel like they don't have an identity because of people like you who lied to these children. People like you who don't tell these children the truth. And the truth is they come from a race that colonized another race. They come from a race that was okay with people like what's bro name who had the 14-year-old girl, Thomas Jefferson, right? They idolize people like Thomas Jefferson. His face is on what, $20 bills, and we know for a fact that he was in his 40s having sex and making babies with a 14-year-old young lady. Is that something that you support, Officer Tatum? Is that something that you support, Officer Tatum's white wife? Okay. We're going to break this down. Yes, this is very wild coming from her. Correct. What's wrong with having a white mate, though? Nothing. But when you weaponize your white mate against nothing but black people, that's the problem. If you don't understand what we're talking about. And anybody want to come up and challenge me, I'm open to links. This is for challenges only. All right. I don't want no hanging out. If you want to come up and challenge, then you're welcome to come up. Let's go.
More intentional things we do with our mixed family.
We don't make jokes about our culture or our ethnicity in front of our kids. They're too young to understand. We'll take that personally.
Number two, we also don't let our families say anything negative about our spouse's culture. Lexi and I have both stuck up to our families to make sure that we preserve the atmosphere around our children and around our own marriage in general.
Yes, stereotypes exist, but we do not overgeneralize in front of our children. We have our experience. We want them to create their own experience.
And last,
Think about this.
Where the history is bad on Whitey.
Yeah.
The fuck you talking? Dr. Umar Johnson.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Is that not what he's supposed to do? Officer Tatum's wife? Is that not what he's supposed to do? He's doing the right thing by saying, you know what? I'm going to tell my black biracial children about the history of white oppression and how we conquered and enslaved and sexually assaulted women and children. How we turned 13 colonies into the 50 states. How we had a civil war because people who look like us then want people who look like your mama to be free. But see, Officer Tatum don't want to talk about that. Let's keep going, man. I got a timestamp. Let's go.
Like we like, for instance, if they came on the podcast and we were sitting down with them and they go, tell the truth about our history. Well, what history about black people are y'all telling the truth about?
They're not.
What the fuck are you talking about? When we talk about white people enslaving, we're simultaneously talking about black history as well. If I'm talking about, oh yeah, man, we got to talk about the civil rights and how white people were keeping civil rights and human rights away from black people, that's also black history as well. I can't talk about Dr. Martin Luther King and the history and his legacy without talking about white people and why Dr. King was necessary in the first place. I can't talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X and the history of their legacies without talking about why, which is all we want to do. But white people today, especially white people married to black raccoons like Officer Tatum, they don't want to tell the true history. They want to do critical race theory. They want to go around and saying, well, was America really full of slave owners? Was the Civil War about slavery? Or was the Civil War about Southern independence? Isn't it? At the end of the day, we will tell the truth about the white man.
Talking about FBI crime stats, I guarantee it.
They're not talking about people selling dope about.
They're not talking about FBI crime stats, I guarantee it.
If we talk about FBI crime stats, Mrs. Tatum, and I see you got the Gucci shirt on, right? You profiting off black people. You basically a slave owner now. If you want to talk about FBI stats, you and your husband come up here right fucking now, and I would debate Officer Tatum on FBI stats relating to children being harmed and which race of men is doing it. Which race of men is predominantly being charged with sex trafficking? Which race of men predominantly is being charged with sexual assault against minors? Which group of men racially, right, are the ones that's having sex with their own daughters, being married to children? Which group of men is that? Because I mean, we can also invite Tim Tebow for this conversation if y'all need to talk to a white man just to even things out. Matter of fact, let me help you. Right? Because you want to talk about what? Gang violence? You want to talk about gang violence? Tim Tebow. Court. Yeah, let's go ahead and find that real quick. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one right here.
But the problem is that the number now is not 57,000. With all of the work that all of these people and amazing law enforcement agents and nonprofit NGOs are doing all around the world, the number is not 57,000 like we said 2 years ago. It's over 89,000. We are losing the battle, and we are losing.
Now tell them that it's white men. Talk to them.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far, it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like that. We can't stand by and stand back. Like we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing. The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far, it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men.
Where you at? We just upped the ante. Where you at? We got Tim Tebow on record saying that the number one group of men that harm children in America are middle-aged white men. But here we go, Officer Tatum and his white wife is saying that biracial parents only make white people look bad. But they don't talk about black crime. They don't talk about FBI data. Okay, we're going to break down FBI data. Let's keep going.
They're not talking about
No.
people selling dope to their own brothers
No.
and sisters,
No.
all the crime that's committed in the inner cities.
If we talk about selling dope, I'm here in Chicago. If you want to talk about selling dope, then let's start with Chicago's biggest gangster. Who is his name? His name is not King Von. Chicago's biggest gangster, his name is not Little Dirk. Chicago's biggest gangster is not even named Larry Hoover. Chicago's biggest gangster to this day, name is Al Capone. Who is Al Capone? Who is Al Capone? Let's go figure that out. Who is Al Capone? Because y'all want to talk about drugs and gang violence. Let's do it.
Al Capone, famously known as Scarface, was one of America's most notorious gangsters. Born in 1899, he rose to power in Chicago, running the infamous Chicago outfit during Prohibition. Capone's empire thrived on bootlegging, gambling, and violence, epitomized by the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Despite his ruthless reputation, he was ultimately brought down by tax evasion charges and spent time in Alcatraz. Released in 1939, Capone's health declined due to syphilis, leading to his death in 1947. His legacy remains a symbol of the Prohibition-era's criminal underworld. Al Capone, famously known as Scarface, was one of America's most notorious gangsters. Born in 1899, he rose to power in Chicago, running the infamous Chicago outfit during Prohibition. Capone's empire thrived on bootlegging, gambling, and violence, epitomized by the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Despite his ruthless reputation, he was ultimately brought down by tax evasion charges and spent time in Alcatraz.
Damn.
Released in 1939, Capone's health declined due to syphilis, leading to his death in 1947. His legacy remains a symbol of the Prohibition-era's criminal underworld. Al Capone.
Interesting. So y'all want to talk about everybody else except the mob. I hate it when Anton do it. I hate it when y'all do it. And people saying, well, the mob don't exist no more. That was in 1947. He was a goofy. You a goofy. If you believe that the mob don't exist no more, you's a goofy. They run every major city, not just Las Vegas. They run Detroit, right? You never heard of Jimmy Hoffa? Y'all never heard of Jimmy Hoffa? The legendary a fucking mob member that went missing in Detroit. They couldn't even find that nigga body. They couldn't even find that nigga body. Stop it. If we're gonna talk about drugs, go back to what Frank Lucas said. Frank Lucas directly told y'all he couldn't even get drugs from the mob. He had to go directly to Vietnam. That's how tight-knit them niggas was in New York City, and racist, if we're being honest. If you don't believe me, before you go talk to him, go talk to Bumpy Johnson. Go dig that nigga up. Ask him about his dealings with the Dutchmen. It wasn't even just the Sicilian niggas and the Italian niggas. You got the Dutch mob too. That was Bumpy Johnson's biggest situation. That situation got so fucking out of line that Poli Castellano had to pay the Dutchman's own men to go against him because Bumpy Johnson basically had a strong arm on Harlem. And they wanted Harlem because that was where all the black excellence was. That's where all the black money was. The black actors, the black singers, the ones who had brand new Ford Model T cars. That's what they was. But they don't, y'all forget that history. You can't talk about the history of Chicago without talking about these niggas. But you know what? Let's continue with the racist shit, because I know that's what some of y'all are here for. Some of y'all don't care about genuine conversation. Y'all just care about bullshit. Let's go.
No.
The murder rate in the inner cities.
No.
How black people commit way more crime than anybody else.
No, they're talking about white people racist.
Right. They're not talking about how black people also own slaves.
Right.
And all.
Oh my fucking God. Sometimes I wish I can take somebody like Tatum, throw him back there. Throw him back there and talk this same talk. Throw him back there. Right? As a matter of fact, I want to put Tatum on the Amistad, right? With all the slaves. But he gonna be the lone one to say, hold on, I'm a slave owner. And see what happened to you and your wife for being married to one of y'all. And your children. Matter of fact, take the whole family back then, right? And then I want you to walk down a street after dark with your wife and children, hold hands. You in Texas. I want you to stay in Texas. Go back about 100 years. 150 if you really want to put a little cherry on top. And do the same shit you're doing now and see what happens. See what happens.
All of these other things that is inherently negative about black people.
Yeah. I will say at first when you sent me their videos, I was like, oh, they're cute. And it wasn't like overtly BLM 2020, like white people bad. But as I was looking through.
What the fuck? It wasn't overtly BLM. So listen, first she took a shot at Colin Kaepernick. And now she's taking a shot at Black Lives Matter. Why is it bad when black people say that some white people have done atrocities in this country? Why is it that y'all want to hide the fact that the founding fathers, because he's going to mention them, well, they don't like the founding fathers. Why the fuck would we? Why would we like somebody who betrayed their own queen? Why would we like somebody who is a fucking slaver, who was giving dick to 14-year-old girls? Why would we like somebody like that? And bigger question, why do you? Why? Why do you? I'll tell you why. Because those four founding fathers, they represent patriarchy. They represent men doing whatever. They represent making America like it used to be. What Trump used to say, make America great again. That's what they talking about. When white men used to be able to go outside and do whatever they wanted to. Right? Industrialize, colonize. Do whatever they want to do. Without any consequences at all.
The videos, it's like, oh, it's so, I don't know, that whole, like victim mentality and like you have to walk on eggshells because you don't want to offend a black person and white people bad. I was like, no wonder these mixed kids, you know what I mean? No wonder mixed kids got issues.
Yeah, look.
Mixed kids, young lady, are you trying to say that mixed kids have issues because they have to walk on it? No, the reason why they have to walk on eggshells, let's address point by point. The reason why they have to walk on eggshells is because y'all lied to them. That's why. Okay? The couple's actual clip is about telling their kids honest family history, both good and the bad. Officer Tatum reframes that as being on bad on whiteys, then pivots his commentary into a list of stats about black on black crime and historical black slaveholders, none of which the couple even brought up in their video had nothing to do with their video. That's not fact checking them. That's substituting his own ideology, his own racist rhetoric for what they actually said in their video so we can sell it to his audience. And exactly. If you don't tell your children the good and bad about who they are, if you only tell your children, oh, you're half black and half white, the black side of you commit crimes, sell drugs, and they don't do shit but fuck up their community. The white side of you, Jesus Christ, Taylor Swift, right? Nothing but good stuff. You know what I'm saying? America, go blue, go red, go white. You're going to fuck your kid up, bro. Because eventually they're going to grow up. You got to come over here if you're going to talk on the mic. Eventually they're going to grow up, right? And they're going to be met with somebody who's actually fucking of a sound mind. And they're going to be challenged on dumbass rhetoric, which is why Charlie Kirk most of the time lost his arguments almost every single time. And if it wasn't for the media and y'all pushing him, he would never had the fucking support that he had, if we're being perfectly honest. This is also why he was never Charlie Kirk, because I'm about to be on his ass. That's also why he was never invited to any formal debates. Like debates like we saw, what's the black, like James Baldwin. James Baldwin would go from Harvard to Columbia, right? Different Ivy League schools went, no, Charlie Kirk never did this once because he was never, in my opinion, I can't confirm this, but in my opinion, the debating community never saw him as a true debater. They saw him as an antagonist person, an antagonist commentator. And it's different, because I'm about to get my smart bag on you niggas. It's different from being an antagonistic commentator, Anton Daniels, versus being a true debater, right? Somebody who understands how to listen and how to counter points without attacking somebody. That is two different things. And we saw this recently, right? If you need a visual for this, go watch Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson. You will see a clear difference in a debater versus a antagonistic commentator, which is, that's what Andrew Wilson is. Oh.
And I will only say, to add on to that, this is why we see that biracial children born to Black women have a very good understanding and a good foundation of who they are on both sides. Versus when mixed race children are born to white mothers and have Black fathers. It's a complete difference. And when you don't tell your children about who they are on both sides, yeah, that will cause an identity issue. Imagine finding out, like some people do, that you have this type of history and you were never told about it. How would that make you feel? You know? But again, if Black children can learn about our history, so can non-Black children learn about our history, which is their history as well.
Correct.
It's all our history.
Correct. I agree. I think they should learn all history.
Yeah, we should learn all of it.
I think they should learn all histories.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the show. We got to go back to their straw man arguments. It's actually very fucking sad. And then, guys, also, the link is in the description. Make sure you guys go check out my tech channel and my other channels. I'm going to be doing my Green Lantern review. Let me guys show you my Green Lantern. Let me put it down for a second. Let me guys show you my Green Lantern little video file. It's so fucking lit, bro. Oh my God. Hold on. Where is it at? It's no. Right, chill. Where is it? Right here we go. This is it right here. Yeah, boy. All right. Boom.
The light is on, and the truth is coming. Watch my new Green Lantern review now on The Darrel Long Show.
Man, play that bitch again real quick, man. Y'all not the only ones that's good with this AI shit.
The light is on, and the truth is coming. Watch my new Green Lantern review now on The Darrel Long Show.
Look, man, I know a little bit of this AI stuff too. I even got the AI camera. Yeah, it move when I move. But listen, make sure y'all go tap into my Green Lantern review. It's gonna be up soon. Let's get back to this review. Let's go ahead and finish this one up.
These mixed kids, you know what I mean? I wonder mixed kids got issues.
Yeah, look.
I don't know.
Look at the other video of their kids.
Right.
This is another one
Right.
where
Yeah,
he's running with his
it gets
kids,
worse.
and he's saying, "This is where."
So I ain't gonna lie to you, Tatum. This is where I feel like I got permission to dox you now, right? Because when you post somebody else's kids, for me, that's triggering because of what I've been through online and people using my kids to attack me. And now I feel like you using buddy kids to attack him, which means that that's fair for you. That's in the realm of, of warfare. So I think I'm gonna use your kids to go at you. That's just where we at now. That's where we at now. Fuck it. I had that information by the end of the week. The thing is this, bro. Y'all gotta stop doing this, because once I get on your ass, they're gonna be just like Anton. Darrel's taking it too far. Okay? This man is using a black woman's child on camera, baby in fucking diapers, with his white fucking wife, all because he don't like black people. He don't like the fact that this white man is uplifting his black woman on his channel. That's that nigga wife. Fuck you think he's supposed to do? Goofy ass nigga.
We get this from. Here's another video. Roll the clip.
We recently talked to a group of mixed adults, and they mentioned one of the reasons they struggle with identity was because one side was more favored than the other. And I don't know if that's true, but here's the thing. I'm very much aware that I'm a white father raising a son and daughter that's a different skin tone than me. And what I do know is that I don't know how their experience would be in this world. So I try to educate myself as much as possible and also challenge my own subconscious biases and stereotypes, because I had them. When it comes to raising my son and understanding the challenges he will face with his skin tone, I am not arrogant enough to believe I can teach him those things alone. We've built a large community filled with strong men that surround him, and I lean on them to help impart wisdom and strategies to navigate this world from their experience that I will never have. And as a father, I have to be humble enough to know I don't have all the answers, and also educate myself so that my son always knows I'm going to be right there beside him every step.
Now, think about this.
First of all,
what he says.
Shut up. First of all, that was a beautiful fucking video. That was a beautiful video of a father, you know what I'm saying, who knows as a white man, he would never understand truly how his sons feel as black Americans. Right? So what he does is he goes out and he gets other black men, the uncles, cousins, granddaddies, and he surrounds that boy with a proper counsel. That's what a real man would do. Now that let me know he really loved that kid, because, and shout out to Tywin Lannister. Let's say if this kid was going to grow up to be king one day, this white man don't know what it means to be a black man. He don't know what it means to draw in the black community. So what he does is the parts that he is weak at, he go and reinforces his son's claim by bringing in other black men who can help reinforce it. That is wise. But watch how Officer Tatum and his wife break it down.
I don't know what my son's experience is going to be. Well, your son's experience is going to be what your experience
What you make,
is.
what you make it, what you instill in him, what you
it's-
teach him.
it's
You
gonna
teach
be-
him what's important.
Why is it going to be so much different than you?
'Cause
If your
he's-
son was white, would you say his experience would be the same as mine? But if my son is not white, his experience is going to have to be something different. Then he goes,
Yes.
good. We surround about good men that can teach him. It was all black people.
All black men. All black men. Which is fine if those are the good men that are in his life, totally fine. But it's like, oh, I've got to like, I don't know. We totally disagree with like this kind.
You don't even see the white bitch don't even know how to say it. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to say about that. It was all black men. All black men. All black men. And it's just, I don't know. No, bitch, you do know. And I called your wife a bitch. Step to me. I'm in Chicago. At the end of the day, that man understands the true history of his country, the hostility that his sons may face, and that he never had to face as a white boy. So he's preparing his sons for that by having them be around other black men, say, hey, boy, nigga, you ain't really like us, Kendrick Lamar. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to deal with some shit. Dun, 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 dun. You're going to have to deal with some shit. You not like us. Dun, 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 dun. Niggas want to act like race don't matter. We literally had a song that white people was going, they not like us, at the motherfucking Super Bowl. Whole song about race. Whole song is basically telling Drake, you're a biracial nigga, not a nigga. Know the difference. That's like when the trans people say you're a cis woman, not a woman. Know the difference. So much propaganda these days, nigga. So much propaganda these days. Let me keep going on that, man. And for the record, shout out to women who are born women. That's not me dissing trans, but shout out to women who are born women. Shout out to Angel Reese. Shout out to Dejanay Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the black women. Shout out to Asia Wilson. Damn.
When Bo will say stuff like I'm black, and then Bo will say stuff like I'm white, and we're like, yeah, you're black like daddy and you're white like mommy. There's no better or worse. There's no like, oh, we got to teach him how to be black and we got to teach him how to be white. It's like, no, you're Bo. And I don't know, the way I see it is like, you got the best of your daddy and the best of your mommy. Like, you're going to run circles around everybody else. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right.
A typical white woman. You got the best of your mommy. You got the best of your daddy. You're going to run circles around everybody else because you got that white blood and that black blood. You're going to be smart like your mommy, but you're going to be an athlete like your daddy who played football. He played football. You're going to be able to play football too. You're going to be able to jump real high too. You're going to be able to catch a ball too. But when it's time to go to school, you're going to have that white gene kick in. That's basically what she means. So when she says the father is saying something pretty humble here, I don't have all the answers. I can't fully know what my son's experience will be. That's Officer Tatum's response to insist, you know what I'm saying, that his son's experience is going to be whatever your experience is, whatever you want the experience to be. That's bullshit. Whether a white parent can fully understand what their black child will face, because let's be honest, race is real. Racial tension is real, right? There's an ongoing debate about if there's going to be a racial war or not, which to me, that sounds fucking crazy in 2026. Tatum and his white wife, they're wrong. They're trying to assert their opinion as if it's factual data, and that's what I don't like about these niggas. That's what I don't like about these niggas. Let me get to some comments. I haven't read comments all day. Let's see what we got going on here. My wife says maybe her time will be better spent doing research on TikTok and looking up biracial born to white mothers and how they feel like they want black mothers and will be better off with black mothers. Child. Hey, Fear. That's honesty. That's honestly what she should be focused on, because your biracials are going to have issues. You mean her children with Officer Tatum? Child. Fear says, I finally caught alive. Yes, yes, yes. Vixen says, she think I'm going to like Green Lantern. I watched it twice. I got my video recorded. Okay. I just got to just finish editing, B-roll, upload. Okay. Let's go back to the video. The next segment, because I'm going to just play until about the 10-minute mark. All right. 10 minutes and 56 seconds. We have to go over what I'm calling segment 3, the Trayvon Martin rewrite. This is the part that pissed me off. And they're going to make it seem like Trayvon Martin was a fucking danger to George Zimmerman. And George Zimmerman was rightfully acquitted. And he got off basically scot-free. And they agree with the shit. This is disgusting. So if you look, let me give a trigger warning, okay? If you love black kids and you have black kids, especially someone around Trayvon Martin's age, I think he was 17 or 16 when he died. If you guys are triggered by this, just click off. Fuck it. Okay? It's not that important for me to get views. I just I love doing radio shit. And this is kind of like me doing radio and TV at the same time. And it's therapeutic. But let's go over what I'm calling the Trayvon Martin rewrite. Trigger warning.
And also it's very interesting because
there's a few more clips they gotta play.
Yeah, it's a few more clips, but it's very interesting because you don't create things that are not there subconsciously.
Right. Yeah.
Our kids have experiences with both sides of the family equally. Like I don't think Bo is like, my grandmother's black on my daddy's side, and it's Grandma Brenda, Grandma Carol, my daddy, your daddy. He hugs, he loves. Everybody's the same. Nobody's even talking about.
This cousin's, this cousin's black, this cousin's Mexican.
We don't give a fuck about what happened in your family. I know I said I was gonna stop at 10 minutes. I still got my timestamp. Fuck it, I gotta get in here. Kind of a little bit drinking, a little bit of wine, a little bit of Red Bull, a little bit of everything. But the whole point is this. We don't give a fuck about what happened in your family. We know that racism exists. I live in Chicago right now. Every time I meet a Chicagoan, you know what they tell me? Man, Chicago is the most segregated city in the world. Let's find out why. Because I'm pretty sure I can bring my wife in here as a Chicagoan. She could tell me why. And I might start a series when I go and ask people why they believe Chicago is the most segregated city in the world. I might actually start that segment. Gemini, can you tell me why people in Chicago say that Chicago is the most segregated city in America?
People describe Chicago this way because of systemic housing segregation built through decades of deliberate policies and sharp neighborhood divides. Key drivers include racial covenants and redlining. During the Great Migration, real estate boards and banks legally blocked black residents from buying in white areas, confining them to the Black Belt while denying loans to non-white neighborhoods. Infrastructure and public housing. Urban planning projects like the Dan Ryan Expressway and high-rise public housing clusters created literal physical borders between Black, Latino, and white communities. Sharp geographic divides. While the city as a whole is racially diverse, roughly equal parts, Black, Latino, and white, individual neighborhoods remain largely homogeneous, with the north side predominantly white, the south side predominantly Black, and parts of the west-southwest sides predominantly Latino.
That's my experience. I go downtown, anything north of downtown, mostly white. Go anything south of downtown, mostly Black. Go anything west of downtown, near Midway and all that shit, Mexicans. That's the facts. So you want to act like we're like, sometimes I feel like we're living in the same time that Dr. King and them was. It's just this shit is more hidden, but it's not hidden at the same time because every Chicagoan feels that shit. That's why they don't want to do certain business deals in the South Side. That's why the Obama Center is such a big deal, having something so grand, so clean, so community oriented on the South Side where all the black people are. Child.
Like, it's just people are people.
All right, let's play another clip. We got
This Mexican. This, like, it's just people are people.
I wish it was that way. White woman. I wish it was that way. But it's not. It's not. Which is why your husband is going to talk about drug dealing, but not talk about crimes that make white men look bad. Like, I don't know, touching children.
All right, let's play another clip. We got like two more clips because we want to show the hypocrisy too. But this is just another clip of their.
Oh, you're doing a good job at that. You're doing a wonderful, a splendid job at showing the hypocrisies that you have. You're only judging this white man because he has a black woman and he has a certain amount of reverence for the black woman. Meanwhile, you sit here in our faces with caucus Britney Spears looking bitch talking about Carmelo Anthony, talking about every motherfucking thing. I saw those videos. How dare you? You piece of shit. You piece of shit. How dare you? Now you're gonna feel my fucking wrath. I'm coming after your wife. I'm coming after your fucking kids, your fucking family. Everybody that I can find associated with you, that love you, your friends, every single one of them. I'm going to post them online, and I want to know which one of you are going to do anything about it. It's time. Time for me to go back to my old self.
Trying to learn themselves in relationships. Roll a clip.
We haven't shared our full story in a while, and I think it's time to share it again. See Lexi and I now, but we were not always on the same page. Our story is one of a lot of hard work to understand each other's worlds and experiences. So I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and I was around the culture heavily. But that didn't automatically translate to me understanding everything. And when Trayvon Martin happened, Lexi and I had just started dating, and it sparked a lot of challenging conversations to learn how we saw the world. And because I cared about her, I took the time to sit and just listen.
Did she also?
Lexi didn't have to have these conversations with me, but she did choose to. And the goal for me was to understand her, not to debate her. And I had to be willing to be wrong about it.
Again, man, clap for the white man right now. Shout out to this nigga, man. He not even a white man. This a nigga right here. What here we go. He said that when he first got with his shorty, the Trayvon Martin situation happened, and he didn't be a typical white man and try to talk about how, George Zimmerman, fuck that nigga, right? He said, you know what, baby, I'm gonna just listen to you. I understand that this incident that really isn't an incident has systemic traumatic implications on you as a black woman. And as your husband, as the man that loves you, I'm going to just listen to you. That's what we need sometimes. What's up, Lady Quantum? That's what we need sometimes. We need allies, true allies, not allies. You know, this white man is more of a real husband to his black wife than Officer Tatum white wife is a good wife to this black man. Because if she was a good wife, she would say, honey, why you on this bitch shucking and jiving? But she support the racist goofy shit. Now let's get into this shit. Let's get to it.
A number of things. Changing my perspective of society and the way things work was not easy. And processing what my role is in that society was not easy at all. But we committed to getting on the same page before we got married. So let's set the record straight. Empathy is not weakness.
I'm gonna say this too. Most times when I see them white dudes with a black woman, nigga, they be bad. I was downtown Chicago, and everybody know when I'm doing Lyft, I film it, right? I film all my rides the whole time I'm out there. Nigga, I saw this white dude with a black woman. I thought she was Meg Thee Stallion, nigga. She was, nigga. These white boys are learning how to take good care of a black woman. They're learning how to show emotional discipline. The link is pinned in the chat, man. Dusty, if you want to come up, man. If any of my white brothers want to come up, I'll drop the link right now. And that's really flow state. I'm going to get that nigga a wrench, man. That's my nigga.
Learning to process pain is not weakness, and covering your spouse is not weakness. And if you see that differently, you might just be ignorant.
Facts.
You learning to before we got married. So let's set the record straight. Empathy is not weakness. Learning to process pain is not weakness, and covering your spouse is not weakness. And if you see that differently, you might just be ignorant.
And that made me think about Charlie Kirk. Remember Charlie Kirk said that goofy ass shit? Empathy is a weakness, man. I don't fuck with empathy. Sometimes, a certain amount of people in our country might have to get knocked the fuck off to maintain national security. You get what I'm saying, buddy? No, dog. You won't hold shit. You feel me? And I'm still got to cover that Tyler Robinson case. Let's go, man. I'm almost at the timestamp. Fuck. Now listen to Officer Tatum and Officer Tatum's wife commentary about Trayvon Martin, a motherfucking child who was walking down the street with an Arizona bottle and a pack of Skittles, minding his business in the state of Florida, going home back to his parents, only to be gunned down by a piece of shit named George Zimmerman, who I understand is a homeless ass piece of shit now. What's up, my brother? Welcome to the
man. Just passing through, and then apparently I'm getting distracted from what we're gonna work on now. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. I've you know how I get down. I don't really like. I stopped showing people whys and shit. But bro, he brought it on himself, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I came in right as I heard you say that, and I told you last time we talked. I said, I don't get why everybody gets so wound up at you, because I hadn't really seen it. You seem reasonable to me, but it sounds like you might be on the warpath again.
I actually have a script because I made sure I carefully curated the segments, and I knew that this Trayvon Martin part was coming up. That's why I'm smoking now, so I don't get too triggered. I got teenage kids, and you got teenage kids, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So
did something new just happen with that's an old case?
Yeah, but so basically, like this couple right here, right? This black girl, she got a white husband. They be on like TikTok and shit. They famous for like the white guy. He be saying stuff like, like I'm teaching myself about how to basically be a better husband on some racial shit so he can understand his wife and I guess raise his biracial kids to not hate themselves and not hate the black part of themselves or the white part of themselves. So I guess he was telling his kid and his wife about the Trayvon Martin shit. And in the video, he was saying that he just listened to his wife. He basically allowed her to vent and all that shit about how she felt about the case. Woo, woo, woo. But this is what the Tatums had to say. Now, I already saw this shit. I don't think you watched Tatum's show, but I started watching every one of his videos.
Yeah, I don't like cops. And I did say in the chat that he sounded like kind of a bitch or something like that. I didn't realize that they had insisting on being on the same page makes sense if you have kids that you got to raise with that dynamic. So I back off my original claim.
Oh, bro, I thought you was talking about Tatum and them shit. I didn't even care, but you might.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I just Tatum is a bitch. I don't like cops, but.
Oh yeah, I like good cops, bro. You know what I'm saying? One of my friends, Darren Weathers, in Detroit, he was a cop, but he got, you know what I'm saying? He didn't get killed. Let me correct myself. He died in one of those like police chase when you're chasing somebody, and then he made a bad turn and he died in an accident and shit. So I'm gonna say that he wasn't killed, but he was doing his job, and in the act of doing his job and shit, he died and shit.
I think that there's certain that being a police officer requires you to do things that I believe are immoral, like arrest people for drugs and shit. And I just don't, is there a good prostitute? It's sort of that thing. I just view them as moral prostitutes. Prosecutors are worse, but anyways.
That I agree with you on, bro. And I talk about my own experience with prosecutors. They tried to get me on a 10-year bid. I'll talk about that in a second.
Differently, you might just be ignorant.
But do you see how? And I'm just saying, we've went through a lot of their videos, and at least 20 videos I've seen. I don't see it the other way around.
No.
It's like he's saying our relationship had all of these challenges. Trayvon Martin is a pivotal point.
The challenge was me being white.
That's exactly what it is. It's about really him being white.
Yeah. I have to listen.
Sit down and listen. What
I
did
have
she
to
listen
educate
to?
myself. Nothing. She's right.
She didn't listen
She's
to nothing.
right.
It's just one-sided.
It's what? Well, yes, because that's what it is. But this is why that whole woke Marxist mentality is like a cancer, and it drives me nuts. Even though I've got a mixed child, half black kid, however you want to say it, where it's like, I don't think that the black side is like the victim side, or like the black side is like the bad side that needs like placating to. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like your kid's going to be a victim if you tell them they're a victim, and your kid's going to say, you know what I mean? Like some things are innate, right? Like Bo's athletic ability, his high twitch muscle fibers. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. There's a reason why there's, you know what I mean, more black athletes.
The fuck did you just say? I always break this down, bro, because I have to keep this 100. Right? Let's take LeBron James. Let's say he's the best black athlete we've seen in the last 20 years. Go get a Navy SEAL, right? Go get a Navy SEAL. And go get, I think his name is David Goggins, right? And see who is better in shape. It has always been my opinion that because white men predominantly in the country own most of the businesses, et cetera, and predominantly participated in the military and all of the businesses that outfit the military, they don't have no need to go throw balls. They don't have no.
That's actually a really interesting perspective that I hadn't thought about. That culturally, there's different directions that physically elite members of the race will take. I hadn't considered that.
Even we think about it on a micro level, right? In Detroit,
say that again.
Think about all the businesses owned. You think about all the Ford motor companies, all the little Lincoln dealerships, all the Audi dealerships. All those are non-owned black-owned businesses. So they, I would believe their children have an obligation down there to carry on a lot of those businesses, right? But in the black community, it's the exact opposite. Fathers are more than likely workers. They're more than likely laborers.
I mean, I don't know that I think that there's a lot of like being an athlete is a lot more prestigious job than inheriting your dad's, dealership. But regarding the military stuff, I do think that with white people, there's a lot more culture of my grandpa served, my dad served, now I'm going to serve. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I was never in the military because I don't really like authority, but
I put it like this, right? I bought my truck at Gillespie Ford here in Gurney, Illinois. Gillespie Ford is a family-owned, operated Ford business. They've been operating for like the last 70 years, bro. They hire over, I think they say over like 600 people, bro. You feel me?
Dealership.
That ability to put people in positions where they're making. I had met a young man because I went up there to get my tires, and it was petty. I could have went to the gas station, but I had like a low air in my tire. Fuck it, right? I went to the dealership, said I need air in my tires, bro. Young man was 19, making like 72,000, bro.
Was he a salesman?
Just working for Ford.
Was he a salesman or?
No, he was a mechanic.
Mm.
He was a mechanic. He was over there with the rest of the guys, you know what I'm saying, fixing cars and shit. Like all the cars, you know how like in the service department, they have a whole bunch of cars, like they have like appointments and shit. So they was all lined up to get different shit done. But him and like four of the guys did all that shit. And I asked him, how much you make, bro? He Said, I make about 75,000 after taxes. I said, what the fuck? How old are you? I'm 19. I said, ain't no way, bro. So you didn't go to school? He said, no, I learned all of this growing up. I couldn't believe that shit.
Yeah.
You learn how to
I
fix
believe it.
cars growing up from who? More than likely his father, his grandfather, his uncle, somebody like that.
Yeah. I feel like, well, kids who grow up learning how to fix cars are normally the poor kids because they had to learn.
I agree.
I mean, we were middle class, and I taught myself as an adult how to work on cars because I was poor for a while. But
because you had to.
I had to, right? But when I was a kid, we didn't have to. Yeah, we didn't learn that.
The only thing I can say to
hear what
that
you're saying.
is when I was in Central Michigan, and I was working at Mount Pleasant High School, and it was my first time seeing that they had a section where people in the community would bring their cars, and they would bring their cars to the school, and the students, they had a class where the students would actually work on the cars and fix them up for people in the community for free. It was crazy. I had never ever seen nothing like that ever in my life before. And to me, even with my oldest son, he was in a robotics class, but only because he was in a private school that was predominantly Caucasian. That's how, that's kind of how it is in Detroit. I can't speak for everywhere else. Even in Chicago, I live in the suburbs, so I can't speak on the inner city and how the inner workings are there. You know what I'm saying? But when they talk about black athletes, his wife mentioned that. It's of my belief, right, that when you think about Michael Jordan's father was a poor ass fucking farm worker in North Carolina. He had nothing to pass to Michael. Literally, if Michael didn't have the ability to play basketball, who knows what he would have become. LeBron James was raised by a single mom, Gloria James, in Akron, Ohio. She had nothing to pass to him. Thank God he was born 6'8", with the abilities that he had. But when you look at somebody, there's other individuals in the NBA that's different, right? Look at JJ Redick, who I love, who I personally think I think JJ Redick is the best NCAA player of all time, but that's debatable. But if you look at his background, he didn't have to play basketball. He chose to. I think that's the difference. One of my favorite players right now, Cooper Flagg, he chose to play basketball. They're different from somebody like a young Larry Bird who grew up poor in French Lick, Indiana, who, like a LeBron James, basketball was Larry's only way out because Larry didn't care about education. If you know his history, French Lick wasn't that kind of town. It was bootlick, poor white town, right? So at the end of the day, I believe that social economics transcend race, and I use Larry Bird to highlight that example that poor whites, like my friend Flo State said, they have some of the same issues that black people have, but for the most part, there is racial and economical differences that, in my opinion, forces us to be like, you know what, maybe basketball, boxing, whatever would be better because we have a better opportunity to go into the NBA versus becoming the president. Versus, in my opinion, my white counterparts, they have a better opportunity to become a president versus making it to the NBA.
I think that your math is off on that, but I hear what you're saying.
I appreciate that, my brother. I'm gonna get to the comments in a second, guys.
Bo's gonna be a good athlete. You know what I mean? So it's like, and he's a bright kid. So there's no reason to be like, high score here, high score there, high score here. But let's make sure he knows that he's different.
Right. That's the key.
And daddy's different.
Yeah, that's the key.
It's exhausting.
I would never, like, both of our kids, it don't matter.
No.
We don't live in a world where your color matters. Like, I don't even think about the fact that me and you different colors.
I know, me neither.
I would have to I would have to think about, like, oh, we're two different. It don't matter because you're Korean to me.
Yeah, I agree.
You're just who you
No,
are.
I agree.
And then let me tell you this: the crazy thing about the biracial or mixed couples or whatever is that when we got together, it was Brandon and Corinne.
Yeah.
There was no. We had our cultures were so different. No, we
were
really
like-
have the same culture.
And it was like, oh, when Trayvon Martin happened, we had a lot of stuff to figure out. It's like when we got together and we got married in 2020 and George Floyd happened, we were like, same page.
Yeah, he was wrong. He was crackhead.
That's what I'm saying. None of it. I feel like things aren't
really-
black and white.
Okay, so they're lying. And I want to make sure I have this video prepared because I got about 20 minutes left in the stream. Let me show you guys a little bit of something real quick. I'm pretty sure I got the whole audio right here.
I know that you don't believe me, but I want you to listen to his interaction with him and another guy.
Just to give this context, this is Fresh and Fit host Myron Gaines, and he decided to go to one of those pro-white nationalist type speaking events on Twitter, and this is what this is how they felt about him.
I called HT the Giga.
I can't believe how quick that was. I can't believe how fast that was.
Can I make this interesting? Can I make this interesting real quick? Myron, you were in MySpace the other day, and I said, you're doing a great job calling these Jews, but, if we take this country back, we want it for white folks. And would you go home? And you said, I was born here, and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand with that answer?
Bro, you look, man, I know you're trying to get a clippable moment here for your...
No, it's the truth, man. This is the issue with whites working with non-whites.
We're over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into, this whole white thing. Like, dude, shut the
This whole white thing is what built this country, Myron.
Shut the up, dude.
Hey, you sand. You sand.
Hey,
I'm in. I am in Florida. I'm in Florida, and I will knock you out on camera.
All right, I'm not gonna have
it.
violence in the space. It's not even my space. I think Ian's having issues, so look, I'm not gonna allow that in Ian's space.
Listen, man. Listen. You can try to deny this shit all you want. You can. And look, I'm somebody who love America. I went to Central Michigan. One of the first things I would get, like one of my talking points that I would try to use to bring racial tension down, and I would ask people, do you care about your country? Do you care about America? That's the first thing I want to know. If you truly is a patriot, because if that matters to you, then you would care about the quality of American education. You'll care about the quality of American streets. You wouldn't want Americans on the street fucking homeless because that leads to crime in American cities. You wouldn't want that. No matter what race you are, you wouldn't want people raping and pillaging. You wouldn't want that, no matter who they are. Right? So I try to focus on the commonalities, then focus on the things we don't have in common later on. That's usually my tactic. Sometimes it works.
I feel like leading with that question is sort of a setup. Is it a setup? Yeah,
it is, because it tells me if somebody has an implicit bias or not, because a lot of white nationalists are, even though some of them are racist or whatever, they do care about America, right?
Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, yes, but maybe not the same America that you or I see.
I agree. They care about it in their own ideal, and they have a right to that because that's what our soldiers die for. However,
I mean, it's like a Muslim and a Jew can both say they love God, and they're not at all talking about the same thing, right? So it's
correct. Like when Mandani says he loved New York and Trump says he loved New York, I understand those are two different things, but they both still love New York though, right? At the end of the day, I would even in that situation, I would try to find as many commonalities as I possibly can. I think the problem is people like Trump and people who support him, like Tatum, they focus on the differences far too much. Far too much, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it wasn't Tatum. Like Tatum was just saying though that he doesn't see the differences. He was I didn't watch the whole thing, but it sounded like he was saying the opposite.
But that's the problem, right? You can, when you see, you can't be in America and say, I don't see racism. I don't see racism. I don't believe racism exists. I don't believe institutionalized racism exists. You can't be ignorant like that and expect people to believe that you're still credible and genuine.
Do you know who Psychopatheist is? Have you run into him?
Clue.
Okay, he's got a channel. In the black, I don't know if black supremacist is the right word, but the black sector. And he's come over to my show once or twice though, and so I wander over there every now and then. The last time I was over there, I was talking to somebody who was making the same point that you were, which is basically you have to see what I see, or else you're the problem and you're ignorant, which I find a disingenuous position. And so I said, okay, tell me an example of how you personally have been negatively impacted by by being black. Like, how has this negatively impacted your life? And the example that he gave me is that he grew up in an area where that experienced white flight in the 70s and 80s, and the schools were so bad that he went to high school that wasn't even accredited. Turns out his example of how white supremacy had affected him, or being black had affected him negatively, was exactly the same experience I'd had, because he's from the same city as me. It wasn't a good example at all. The only person who could relate to his example of having been victimized by being black is the only white guy on panel. I disagree with your take on this. I think that, I don't think that you have to see it, or else you're ignorant.
I think, well, for one, I think that what happened with the person that you're describing is about social economics, right? That's why I used the Larry Bird situation. A poor white person like Larry Bird grew up under his father, Joe Bird. If you don't have revenue, right? Larry Bird grew up worse than Big Meech's son, right? Because of the economic differences. But the thing about it is this, is if because like, let's say French Lick, Indiana, Big Meech wouldn't be able to even walk outside after sundown, right? We can use basic things like that, right? In certain towns, let's go back to like Mississippi, Nolan Wells, which is why people keep bringing up their history. Sundown towns was infamous. That is just one difference. A poor white person can still walk down the street. A poor white person can still vote. And even if we take it to, because let's say that's the arguments of yesteryears, what about today? In our opinion, let's look at the situation that they were talking about, George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, unarmed, right? Because they talk about gangsters, they talk about thugs. That's what we're supposed to represent. But Trayvon Martin represented none of that. He was an unarmed young black man, but he was still demonized in the media. And the person that killed him on video, on audio, right? Screaming for his life. I still remember to this day, begging, help, help, help. Nobody helped him. But George Zimmerman received help. Millions of dollars in donations after he squeezed the trigger and used the stand your ground law, saying that he was in danger, and anybody with common sense knew he wasn't, which told us it was just a public lynching, right? But they're reframing it like it was anything else but that.
Yeah, I think the Zimmerman was in the wrong. I disagree that this is proof of, anything other than people are fucked up and the justice system is fucked up, and it's always going to get things wrong, right? But try, like, and I don't remember that case as well, but the what's the one in Texas just now with the stabbing, right?
Austin Metcalf, Trayvon.
Right. I think that we, the public, are responsible for, I don't think that there was a racial element in that. I think it became racially sensational. I mean, as far as a motivating factor, obviously there was different races, but I don't think that the incident probably was caused by that at all. I think that the injustice of the massive sentence that he got was due after the fact to the way that the narrative spun it into a political, racial sort of bullshit story And I think that it removed the ability of a kid to get justice who happened to be black. So I think that there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy. I think that there's adults who are immature and put their own baggage into other situations, and so then deprive the people in that situation of the ability to actually have maybe a little more level-headed thing. But I think that I don't see uniformity, or I just feel like we get race baited sometimes, for sure, but it's all interpretation, right? I got my house when my story when I got rated 3 times in 1 month. If I were black, I mean, how many people do you know have been rated 3 times in 1 month? If I were black, I could see how that would be easy to blame that as the thing.
Fair enough. That might be the thing in a certain situation, just not in yours. And as far as as far as addressing it as, well, some people when the law is fucked up, I think that's an oversight, right? When we peel back the layers of what makes them fucked up, why they're fucked up, I think that's when psychologically we start to understand that they have implicit biases. That's where it always come down to me. When you look at Courtney Clement case, she was charged to 6 years. 4 of those years they're giving her as time served. So she killed her black boyfriend and only going to do 2 years in jail, when we have video of her assaulting him on camera. And the situation with Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman was able to plead self-defense and get no time at all. Whereas we know from the first interview that Hunter Metcalf did with Will Kane, he described the situation. And that's my favorite video to use because it was 24 hours after his brother died. And he says that he was the one that approached Carmelo Anthony and Austin stepped in to defend him, which to me would give motive that was them double teaming him already, right? But he wasn't allowed to go under the self-defense, and he was charged the way he was charged. But at the end of the day,
I think that
most of us believe that that's due to implicit bias. That implicit bias is rooted in racism.
But here's the thing. I think, and because actually when I was in high school, we had basically the exact same situation happen in the parking lot. One student stabbed another student and killed him. And it was a black student who killed, he was Italian, pretty Italian, so mostly white. The black student in this case got like 7 years or something, right? It had a different outcome. The outcomes are not uniform, even though the experiences are. And you can't demonstrate with any sort of confidence that is the cause of the thing. You're bringing your own biases or grudges to the situation, right? When I see an ICE situation or there's a police involved shooting, I automatically default against the cop. I assume that the cop is making up some fuck shit to shoot the person. So I hear what you're saying, and I recognize that you've experienced shit different than I have, and I'm bringing my bias to the situation too. But I think that there's a real clear line between what we do know about a situation and what we don't know about a situation, what we're sort of inferring loose with weak evidence. And I think that racial motivation is one that's very politically flammable, but is almost always impossible to actually demonstrate with any real confidence. It's just sort of claimed and blamed and then spun into the chaos.
I don't think so. Here's the facts, right? Listen, let's look at Mississippi. Let's use 6 months. In the last 6 months, Nolan Wells died and 2 black people was hanged. None of those crimes have been solved. Right? In a state that just changed their state flag from the Confederate flag to something that is not the Confederate flag.
An unsolved case does not mean that it's racist. Sometimes they don't know who did it.
Doesn't point at the racism, but the manner of death, which is hanging, right? The way that the case is handled by the officers. For example, with the situation with Nolan Wells' body. In that case, they never, to this day, we don't know what happened with his stomach. We don't know what happened with his lungs. We don't know if he was
With his
drunk.
stomach.
We don't know if he had drugs. But Officer Tatum and other accredited journalists are saying that he was drunk based on the word of Nolan Wells. I'm sorry, of Warren Hudson. So to me, that will only happen, right? And I said this other day, because I watch a lot of Officer Tatum content now. He hasn't done no videos about Courtney Clement and her killing the black man. He hasn't done no videos about the number one trial in the country right now. Isn't even this shit they're talking about. It's that white girl, Lindsay something. I can't think of her last name right now. But she killed her children, right? They haven't done one video about that at all. Not about, because we know the manner of death in that situation. The kids died brutally, right? That's why she's being charged with the murders. And her only escape is, I was going through postpartum and I was crazy. And again, like George Zimmerman, she has raised almost $1 million in her defense after she killed her own children. So there's no videos about that on these individuals' channels. When you look at these individuals, because it's not all individuals like yourself, but when you look at these individuals who have extreme implicit biases against black individuals, Smith is another one. He hasn't covered either one of those cases. The Lindsay young lady or the young lady who fucking stabbed her boyfriend, Courtney Clement. Because in my opinion, based on what they have put out, there is no white women crimes, period. But if Jasmine Crockett comes
white
out
women
and
do
says
generally
that she,
not get charged.
If Jasmine Crockett comes out tomorrow and says that she like Meg Thee Stallion new song, that is going to be somehow, some way drawn into a political segment that's going to last about 20 minutes. But not, so to me, it's not that we're using our implicit bias or we can't build a concrete argument. We're actually using the data from which they are putting out, which is mostly racial driven data.
You're not using the data that you're putting out, which is you're engaging with this content as he's making it. He might be doing the best thing mathematically because it is getting your attention. You're watching all of his shit now because he's not doing any white content or any white girl stuff, right? So this thing goes both ways. And I operate according to a principle my mom told me this when I was little. I think it's wise. Assume good intentions until you know otherwise. You know, if somebody's got some shit for you, they'll let you know eventually. And so I just try to apply that and go like, I operate according to what I know. And generally race component, you know, personal biases like that, unless somebody says the thing to you, like you just, you know, you can't know. I don't think that pointing at a situation and saying that that's racist, I don't actually think it adds clarity. I think it adds confusion to the case.
I want to play something for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make sure I can find it. I don't know how much time you have left. Let me see if I can find it. I want to make sure I find the exact clip, right? So let me have Gemini do it for me. Gemini, I'm looking for James Baldwin clip where he talked about how he don't know if he can prove that somebody's racist. He can only talk about the difference between the textbooks that they give the white kids to the black kids. Help me find that video, please.
In what school? Like, how is that possible?
I'll help you.
Okay.
Here it is, right here. Dick Cavett. Perfect. So now I need to open this on my YouTube channel. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you this. James Baldwin on Dick Cavett. I haven't watched a Dick Cavett show in quite some time. Do you know Dick Cavett?
No.
He was In the 12-minute one? Perfect.
Oh, damn, the Tupac murder trial's going on right now. That
is
seems like
true.
it should be the biggest trial in the country. What's that? Isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. They're trying to get Keefe D on that trial. I think they're going to be unsuccessful. So this was a conversation between Paul Wise and James Baldwin. James Baldwin being the legendary writer, and Paul Wise, if you guys don't know who he is, he was a Yale professor. I think he passed away now. But well, they both, I think all three of these guys are dead, to be honest. But let's watch it.
I'd like to add someone to our group here. Professor Paul Weiss, a Sterling Professor of Philosophy at Yale. And I guess I don't, yes, I do have a copy of the book that he recently wrote with his son, one you may have read about in Time magazine, called Right and Wrong. It's a dialogue between father and son. His son is here and will be out later. He's a lawyer. And Mr. Weiss is, did I mention this? Sterling Professor of Philosophy at Yale. You've seen him on the show possibly before. He's the most interesting teacher I had at Yale because he was, he didn't lecture. The class was fluid. He
I'm going to look at the timestamp. BRB.
Answers questions as they're fired at him. And I'd like him to meet you if you haven't met him yet, and to meet Mr. Baldwin and Phyllis Newman. And here's Dr. Paul Weiss. Were you able to listen to the show backstage?
A good deal of it, but then I was behind the rostrum.
Yes.
So I heard only some of it.
Did you hear anything that you disagreed with?
I disagreed with a great deal of it. I, from one of Mr. Baldwin's admirers, I've written him 10 letters, and of course, it's a good deal I agree with. But I think he's overlooking one very important matter, I think. Each one of us, I think, is terribly alone. He lives his own individual life. There's all kinds of obstacles in the way of religion or color or size or shape or lack of ability, and the problem is to become a man. For each one of us, I think all this talk about poverty, race, prejudice, it's important, vital, but it's not really at the center. It deals only with the means in the way, or the obstacles in the way of becoming something much more serious and important. That is, to be someone in yourself. To become a man is a difficult job. It takes a lifetime.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I didn't think you would.
But I take that for granted. I really do.
That you see, but by taking it for granted, you emphasize always the obstacles in the way, and perhaps you have it in mind. But I think your hearers very often forget that you have another objective in view, the one we both agree upon.
Is what I'm talking about.
I thought Dick was asking that question before when he asked you, aren't you being more extreme? Isn't there some other end? Is it all hopeless? In one sense, it is not hopeless. In another sense, it is. It's hopeless in the sense that nobody ever attained the state of being a full man. But it's not hopeless in the sense that every one of us has a problem which he can resolve more or less even in himself. These obstacles are terrible, I agree with you, but they're not insuperable if you know what you're looking for.
But what I was discussing was not that problem, really. I was discussing the difficulties, the obstacles, the very real danger of death thrown up by the society when a black man attempts to become a man.
Yes, there's another point in connection with that, and I suppose you do agree. All this emphasis upon black man and white does emphasize something which is here, but it emphasizes or perhaps exaggerates it, and therefore makes us put people together in groups which they ought not to be in. I have more in common with a black scholar than I have with a white man who's against scholarship. And you have more in common with a white author than you have with someone who's against all literature. So why must we always concentrate on color or religion or this? There are other ways of connecting men.
I'm not talking about that. I understand
I know
that.
you're not.
I understand that. But as we sit here now, by the will of the people, a man named Ronald Reagan governs California. And the terms I'm using, you must understand, are not the terms that I myself might choose. I'm not interested in whether a person is white or black or green or yellow. I'm talking about the force of the state, which at this moment is oppressing black people all over this nation.
Not all.
The force of the state, which is oppressing every black man in this nation.
You write freely, don't you not? Is black getting in your way as being a writer, an author?
Yes.
It is, tell us how. I'd like to know how things like get in the way
in the first place.
What year was? Do you know when this was? What, like 60s?
I think this was 69.
Okay. Just curious.
I think that is laughable to say that being black didn't get in his way. I'm gonna press play on this, but because I got a specific part I really want to comment on. But even Michael Jackson, the most talented musician, arguably of all time, was not allowed on MTV simply because he was a black man. This is basic history.
Well, he eventually was because he turned into a white woman.
No, he was. And it was shown why he was, because after he fired his father, he had a white representative who had a close relationship with the CEO of MTV, and he called him because at that point in time he owned the Beatles and said, "Hey, if you don't put Michael on, we're gonna remove the Beatles. Fuck it. So you got to play ball." And eventually, about 2 months later, they agreed. They made a deal. This is because I grew up in Detroit. I remember, Motown got a whole Motown history about Michael Jackson. So everybody knows this history in Detroit. It was a lot of people would like to credit Michael with that. Like, well, Michael was the one who got black people on MTV. Wrong. It was the his white manager that he fired. Sorry, the white manager that he hired after Joe Jackson was fired from his crew. Every time, like the Jackson 5, you'll never find the Jackson 5 on fucking MTV. Good luck with that.
No, now you put me a little bit on the spot. I don't like to discuss myself or my
All
work.
right, let's not talk about you. Let's talk about some other black author or white author.
No, let's not do it that way. I'll tell you what I mean. I'll use myself. Let's go for broke. It is the first difficulty then is to, and you will say this is true for everybody, but I am like you, all right? In the first place, I have to deal with the fact that my history is inaccessible to me. That my history in this country begins with the bill of sale.
Your individual history?
My name is Baldwin.
Yes.
It's an old English name.
That. My name is Weiss, and it's been derived from somebody else. Maybe my great ancestor was white-haired or whatever. I don't know.
But you have at least the Psalms of David.
I don't have them. I don't think I've read them in 10 years.
That doesn't matter.
Or 20. I couldn't tell you one of them.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. One's got to face this fact. Let us say we're both black, right? We both get here at the same time, right? You come from one tribe, I come from another. You speak one language, I speak another. We cannot talk to each other. We don't know what is happening to us. We're confronting a white man with a Bible and a gun and a cross. And what you have to do, if you're going to live, is accept this stranger, this book you cannot yet read, under the gun. Wait a moment. You asked me a question, I'll do my best to answer it.
Yes, but you must give me a chance to say something
Yeah,
too.
one moment. I really don't. I'm not trying to.
Can I do something even more unforgivable? Because due to the mechanics, if we don't pause now, we may not be back for a while. So we will, and then we'll be back. Stay with me.
They paused it right when he brought the fact that, again, two foreign tribes, if you know, that's if you believe this story, two foreign tribes brought here, none of them can read the Bible. Both of them have the gun and a cross pointed at them. You know the rest, man.
Gentlemen, where were we?
I was in the middle of the Psalms of David.
Yes.
Right?
Attributing to me somehow.
But I was trying to make a point. The point is this simple: that one began here with a history of an identity, not only inaccessible, but also systematically and deliberately denied and destroyed. The 104 talks about the breakup of the Negro family, and it occurs to me as a very bitter kind of comment on the people who did their best to break up that family. Now to blame the family for being broken up. And
He wasn't doing that before I read.
Well, there are no male father images.
Another thing that America, even to this day, refused to acknowledge the ramifications of these actions. Actions don't just happen, and they don't like. If you don't believe me, go talk to the people of Hiroshima, Japan, right, or Hiroshima, however you want to pronounce it. Ask them if the bomb that was dropped in the 40s don't have ramifications today, right? So we have, again, on record, J. Edgar Hoover and programs that was acknowledged by Patrick Moynihan in the Moynihan Report, which was published under the Department of Labor, where they admit to breaking up the black family and having systematic ways to break up the black family. Now, later on, we have a gender war where the black family is being attacked for not being together.
I actually do believe that. Yeah, I do believe that the break up the black family. Is it still happening? Is that still happening?
There's no systematic. Oh, absolutely.
Is it happening just to the black family still?
You had to tell me, like somebody like myself, right? I don't have access to what's going on in other households, except outside of the community that I'm mostly around.
Yeah, you got access to your own opinion, though. You don't have to be the thing that. I don't need to be a cat to know that they shit in boxes.
Yeah, but for example, right? I remember when I got to Wisconsin, Jay Prince was telling me that everybody in Wisconsin was poor. It was completely fucking false, right? Completely fucking false, right? So, like, and I talk about this all the time. When you look at the average black male between the ages of 65 to 70, they're not living like the average white males. If I go in the South Side of Chicago right now and look at the average black male there between those ages, I go into fucking Burlington, Wisconsin, gonna be complete two different stories. Some of those men never owned farms, never owned land, never owned a meal, don't know how to fucking raise farm and horses and shit. Generations of families have went by not even knowing how to fucking skin fish or even how to swim. Because like, I think that some people in this country vastly underestimate how good they have it versus others.
You sidestepped the shit out of my question.
I don't think I did. I think I gave an example that answers your question.
You gave an example about how different people in different places have different outcomes, but my question is I do agree that the black family, at least a few decades ago, was specifically attacked by the government. And you think it's still happening. I would agree.
You have to tell me when that agenda changed, right? Because thank you for acknowledging that it happened, right? So you would have to tell me when that agenda changed.
I'll tell you what I think. I don't think it changed. I think it expanded. I think that it's aimed at everybody now. I think it started in the black community and it moved to everybody.
Why?
Actually, let me back that up. I think it started with Native Americans. I'm not gonna lie. I think Native Americans got it worse than
everybody else. I mean, that's arguable. Fair enough. On that, I agree. But the other part, I want you to break that down for me.
What's that? Which part?
You said that at one point the government was attacking African Americans, but now you believe that has been expanded to everyone else. What do you mean by that?
So I think ultimately that the agenda is an economic one. I think that prisons are massive profit in many, many ways. And largely this was an economic exploitative push. I think that black families were where it started. Because the best way to gain support for attacking or oppressing somebody else is to make it the other, right? We go to war in Vietnam, it's more stomachable or palatable than if we go to war with people who speak English. I think that within America, the power was with white people, culture was white. If you want to put people in prison for profit, it's going to be an easier sell for it to be black people. I think since then, it's expanded. And everybody's really on the agenda. Does that make sense? They'll send me to prison and put me to work making stamps or stamping plates just as fast as you if I get myself in that situation. Actually, let me back out on. I'm going to walk that back. But you understand largely what I'm saying.
I think I understand largely what you're saying, but I don't think it changes like black people's situation, because basically what you're saying is they never changed their position about black Americans, right? They just actually changed their position about y'all, right? If you're not, I'm presuming an elite white person, then they changed their position about y'all. So that doesn't really mean that they changed, which would mean that the systemic racism and the practices that they still practice against black people then, because they haven't changed, it would be now. It's just that now those practices, which was not being placed upon you guys, are now being placed upon some of you guys. And we can now have a conversation about it being expanded, but not equal and not eradicated, which is the conversation that we should be having.
I agree. I think that an issue is that the powers that be, right? We both agree there are powers that be that attack families and take advantage of people. I think it's classism. I think it's all about money. I think that attributing race to something that is inherently, I think more demonstrably, motivated by class, I think the race component distracts from the actual problem and everybody loses there.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Wait, how do you?
Okay. I like this Dick Cavett one, but let's go back to Tatum, man.
Did we? Oh yeah. So I didn't mean to distract. I know you're on a time limit or something.
Oh no, you're good, bro. No. I usually keep it to 3 hours, so we got like an hour and a half.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
You're good to go.
white, things are right and wrong. And if something's right, it's right. And it's wrong, it's wrong. And that's
But
it.
baby, like we said before, it's really the white person is the problem.
Well,
Like,
yes.
The pivotal point in their history was Trayvon Martin. And he had to sit and listen to her.
And George
Trayvon
Zimmerman
Martin wasn't even
white.
killed by police officers.
Or a white person. was
Zimmerman
Mexican.
wasn't even really white.
Exactly.
And Zimmerman
That is a point.
got off because technically the law was in his favor based on the eyewitness testimony. So it really wasn't.
Was George Zimmerman white?
Nah, he was Mexican or Hispanic.
From my understanding, when we were able to get access to a police report many years ago, George Zimmerman is a white man of Peruvian heritage.
What's that mean? How do you be the two things?
So, I think the
Can
best
I-
thing to
can
do is to have,
you be a white man of African heritage?
You can.
Like
It's great.
Elon Musk? Would that be like Elon Musk?
Yeah. Like, and it's
Okay.
crazy. There's actually, like, for example, Team Fatty, he's African American. Sorry, he's African of Portuguese heritage. But he's not. If you can ask him this. There's a difference between African Portuguese and white Portuguese. So there's a big fucking difference. Right? But I'm gonna have Gemini explain it. I think it's best. Gemini, I'm seeming to have an issue with George Zimmerman race. Brandon Tatum said that George Zimmerman wasn't a white man. However, when I looked into his public record, it said that George Zimmerman is white and of Peruvian heritage. So was he white or non-white? Can you please explain this to me? Dun, 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 dun.
In the United States demographic system, Hispanic is an ethnicity, not a race, meaning a person can be ethnically Hispanic and racially white. George Zimmerman has a white American father and a Peruvian mother, which is why public and official records categorize him as a white Hispanic.
Damn.
Commentators like Brandon Tatum emphasize his Hispanic Peruvian background to argue against
Damn,
describing him
Gemini
strictly
knows you
as a
too
white
good.
man, while standard government classifications still record his race as white alongside his Hispanic ethnicity.
His father is a white American man, but because his mother is a Peruvian woman, we're saying that he's not white.
He's both. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Some crazy injustice that happened. I think it was wrong. I think the
Yes.
guy Zimmerman should have went to prison.
Yes.
But when you look at the law and you look at the witnesses and what was proven, what wasn't proven, it was really no choice for him to get off. The law says he can stand your ground. Trayvon was beating his head into the ground. Really no
What?
choice for him to get off. The law says he can stand your ground. Trayvon was beating his head into the ground.
Is that what happened?
Not from my understanding.
Is that what happened? And that's the part that, truth be told, if this was a different time, I want to handle this a different way for Mr. Tatum. Real talk. You're talking about a dead kid right now, gang. You're saying that Trayvon was beating Mr. Zimmerman head into the ground. Do you know that George Zimmerman was brought on the stand and testified for himself? And by his own account, he said that Trayvon Martin never put a hand on him. By George Zimmerman's own testimony. But that shit I was just telling Flow State about. You want to demonize a black boy so badly and misrepresent the entire situation to make George Zimmerman look better. Because you're a fucking coon.
What?
And
So
then-
how?
Oh, go ahead.
How do you interpret? Like, suss out what you think he would be motivated by to carry this narrative.
Money.
Which is fun, like by like some nefarious
individuals
cause,
who
or
think like
by
him
the
who wanna
by the fact
push this.
that we're talking about it right now, and the racial component actually brings attention when he does things like this, takes racial positions. The
I
black
agree.
guy who takes white sides is both infuriating and enticing, depending on who you are, right? It works well for him.
It does. But whether it works well for him or not, you know, it worked for Charlie Kirk for a while. It worked for people until it don't work.
For a while.
Right? People have karma.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what happens if your kid died? Brandon Tatum? Maybe I'll go live and get money like you're doing now and mischaracterize the whole situation.
But I think it's worth pointing out that the causal system of him taking that position, because I agree he's motivated by self-interest and money. We're sitting here talking about him. We're contributing to him taking the position that you're pointing out saying is unjust. We gotta take a little accountability and a little intellectual honesty and look and say this is a whole chain. The American obsession with race is what has created the obsession with race to a large extent. We're part of it. We're doing it right now.
No, I disagree. What I'm doing is calling out racism in a way to show the hypocrisy, right? I'm not giving him any promotion, right? If people want to make that argument, then I will allow that argument to be made. But the only thing that I'm doing is calling out the facts from the lies, like the lies that I just called out when he said that Trayvon Martin was beating the shit out of George Zimmerman. That's a lie. That's a brutal, malicious lie about a dead child, right? So even if I'm promoting him, if that's what it's going to take to call it the hypocrisy, then so be it. My goal is not to destroy Officer Tatum's channel or to destroy his money. My goal is to be able to talk about situations, right? If I go on Officer Tatum's channel and say, hey, there was also 5 black founding fathers. Yeah, George Washington was really a black guy. And Thomas fucking Jefferson, they was all black guys.
The founding black Americans.
He's going to correct me immediately, right? He's going to correct me immediately. If I say Charlie Kirk was a white guy, he's going to correct me immediately, right? So when it comes to the stuff that he wants to correct, if I say fucking Warren Hudson killed Nolan Wells, he's going to correct me immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't correct himself when he says Trayvon Martin was beating George Zimmerman head to the ground, when we have George Zimmerman testimony saying that that's the exact opposite of what happened.
Yeah, he's carrying the narrative there for sure.
Yeah, this is dangerous rhetoric, bro. I gotta press play.
Yep.
You know, whatever the case may be, the law is the law.
Yeah.
So to act like this is such a pivotal moment where Trayvon is the pivotal point in our relationship. Trayvon is a kid over here that got killed by white. But y'all don't talk about black people getting killed every day.
By
other.
That, yes, to me, that was what was kind of exhausting about this. And
you don't think we talk about black people that get killed by black people? That shows me that y'all have a true disconnection with like the black community, right? Go talk to a nigga like Meech, Big Meech, and ask him why his mother couldn't teach and be a fucking pastor no more. Why the church didn't allow them in the church. Go ask these people these questions. Everybody wasn't cool with this shit. The same way, right, that if I go to the Italian community and ask them here in Chicago, was all the Italians cool with the way that Al Capone was moving? Was all the Italians cool with all the fucking murder and all the fucking shit that was going on? Were they? I promise you they're going to say no. Again, I'm a very learned individual. You cannot talk about drugs to me or violence to me, especially in a city like Chicago, without bringing up Al Capone and every other fucking member of the what y'all call it, organized crime, because those not gangs. A group of niggas selling drugs, selling pussy, selling alcohol when it was illegal. That's not a gang. They're organized crime of family. When fucking Bumpy Johnson did it, fucking gang members. It's a problem, bro. It's a problem. We talk about that shit different day. Let's keep going.
And then, you know, how the first video, they were like, and we don't make jokes about the other's cultures. And we don't let our family make jokes about each other's cultures. And I'm like, me and your black mama, we make jokes about everybody together.
Everybody. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that thing.
We make jokes about black people.
I've been
and
married
we
to a
make
white
jokes
woman
about...
long enough with that I hear the smoke detectors now.
I'm like, don't you hear that, Brandon? You don't hear that?
You're bragging about making jokes about people of different ethnicities. Yeah, me and my wife, we make fun of black people, Mexicans, fucking Jews, everybody. What does that say about you, really? Are you trying to give us some type of you're an equal accountability partner, motherfucker? So that means that you're not racist when you get online and all your content is specifically about black topics. It's not about the two white women that are leading the nation in coverage right now. Matter of fact, let me show y'all that. Because you're not going to see it on Brandon Tatum show. Let me just at least give y'all the news story. I think her name is Lindsay. Somebody else put it in my chat. Somebody's put it in my chat. I know it's going to pop up immediately. As soon as I put Lindsay Clancy. Damn, it popped up immediately, guys. Why? Because her trial is the #1 trial in the country right now. But as usually you don't see angry man talking about it. You don't see these black individuals talking about it. Right? You don't see Officer Tatum and his white wife talking about it. Even though when I type in her name, Lindsay Clancy, motherfucker, nigga, it's content for days on her. Let's watch the trial real quick.
It's the case that has ignited a national conversation about postpartum mental health. People weighing in on TikTok.
So I can't stop obsessing about the amount of medication that she was on.
Lindsay Clancy is 100% guilty and should be criminally charged.
She was failed by the medical community and she was failed by her husband.
The mother of Lindsay Clancy, the Massachusetts woman on trial.
Not the father being blamed for his kids being deleted by they crazy ass motherfucking mama. I'll be damned. I say
Where was the dad? Where was the dad with this?
You said who was the father?
Where was he in this situation when she killed all the kids?
I think he was at work.
Okay. Oh, this shitty surprise from
Yeah, but I wish that even though he was at work, I check my cameras not be out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I get like a notification when people go in different rooms. I wish he would have called the police or something, because
I mean, I can see saying that he, like, if she's this
I don't
fucking
blame him
nut,
at all, bro. For the record,
you don't.
I don't.
I think that probably if you've got a chick who's this nuts, you ignored some warning signs.
You think so? You think? Because that's what they saying. That's the main argument, bro.
I mean, I don't think that he should be held like legally responsible for anything. But I'm just saying, if we're really chopping up, like, how the fuck do you have somebody that crazy and you didn't notice?
Well, they saying with postpartum, a lot of like that shit we don't see. A lot of men, we go to work, we come back, we don't give a fuck. That's how they really flaming the husband. But I think that if we was sympathetic to fucking Jeff Metcalf, who called Carmelo the watermelon felon, then I'm gonna be sympathetic to this father who not just lost one fucking kid, he lost 3 babies, bro. Babies.
Yeah,
like I don't give a fuck what race he is, cuz if a nigga lose 3 kids that's barely out of diapers, bro, man, he got my sympathies, cuz.
Yeah, no, mine too.
That shit's fucked, bro. Now I'm with you. Maybe he should have saw Shorty was crazy. We'll talk about that a different day. But I know who not gonna talk about it is Officer Tatum.
3 children took the stand in her daughter's defense.
100% guilty and should be criminally charged.
She was failed by the medical community and she was failed by her husband.
The mother of Lindsay Clancy, the Massachusetts woman on trial for killing her 3 children, took the stand in her daughter's defense.
I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Paula Musgrove testified her daughter grew anxious shortly before she was due to return to work as a labor and delivery nurse. She read this text from Clancy asking for help.
Mom, will you please come up and stay with me for a bit? I'm really sick. Something is wrong. It's just really scary, and I don't want to be alone.
Clancy has admitted she strangled 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan.
Nigga, you killed a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a baby that was 8 months, and you got motherfuckers vouching for you, cuz you should be burning in hell. I couldn't imagine being a father losing my kids like this, bro. I would be on a fucking warpath.
Yeah, no, that's rough. Another reason this may not be getting the coverage is because this is actually depressing as fuck.
I mean, yeah, bro, this shit is
this is more depressing. This is more depressing than a vigilante wannabe cop dude killing not a man but a young man. You know, like this is more depressing.
I mean, bro, they lucky I'm not the fucking judge. I don't want to hear shit. Either throw her, lock her up, or fucking give her the death sentence. But get her out of my fucking sight.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around.
Yeah, I mean, claiming that the medical industry is to blame is fucking nuts,
bro. I don't got.
They're to blame for a lot of things.
Bro.
Don't get me to get it wrong. I don't have any love for that, but
I don't know if you've been following the case, bro, because they live. The case is literally right now happening in Chicago. Look, dog. The father, Patrick Clancy, they trying to say that he might need to be locked up because he didn't see the signs, and now they got the mom testifying well, he did know because she told all of us she was crazy. What the fuck?
Despite what I said a minute ago, like I do think that. Well, I mean, the mom just read that herself. The mom should have seen and done something too, right? You
So maybe the mom should be locked up too. Fuck it.
But no, I don't think like I don't believe in locking people up for shit that somebody else did. I don't believe in locking mom or husband up for what this woman did. I don't believe in locking parents up because their kids stole a gun and did something with it. I think that you can't be responsible for what you can't control, and the husband couldn't control her. Like while he's not there.
Yeah, DJ Truth. Yeah, bro. They trying to make excuses for her and throw it on the man. And this the one time I think men need to come and rally behind this man, bro. I'm actually worried about that nigga mental health. High key.
Bro, I guarantee it's shot. Like,
yeah, I don't. It's not enough blunts I can smoke to get my 8-month baby back. And to think about somebody choking my 8-month baby, bro. That just triggered me for him. I don't even want to watch the rest of this shit. I'm gonna show y'all anyway.
In January 2023.
I agree also with Mellow and Nala down there. If you can tell somebody you're fucked up, then you're in enough control that she
could have helped her fucking self.
She reached out to somebody. She was able to recognize it, articulate it. And at that point, if that person doesn't respond the way, but you recognize this about yourself, you need to go drive yourself off a bridge or something. Like just
whatever she was doing, these kids didn't deserve none of that shit she did. If I would have preferred, real talk, flow state, if she had just woke up and just drove and never fucking came back.
Yeah, that's
right.
What I'm saying.
Call the police and say, I'm not stable, gang, and get the fuck on. Let me keep going, bro.
3, but has asserted an insanity defense, arguing a combination of psychiatric drugs prescribed after the birth of her 3rd child made her postpartum psychosis worse.
She said that she couldn't remember anything. The medication was pretty much just destroying her mind, and it wasn't her. She said, this isn't me. I just want to feel better and enjoy my kids again.
One of Clancy's former co-workers recalled telling her about Andrea Yates, the Texas mother who drowned her 5 children in 2001.
She cried, and she said, how could a mother hurt her children?
Prosecutors allege Clancy was unhappy with her life and planned to kill her children and herself. She's paralyzed now from the waist down after jumping from a window. Prosecutors rested their case after
This bitch.
testimony from more than 70 witnesses that sometimes left Clancy in tears.
Bruising or abrasions. And what about injuries?
All right, counsel, could.
How you in court crying, telling some you can't do this when you just took out your own kids, gang? Let me finish this Tatum shit up, man. I'm gonna get triggered and go off. I already
This is what I'm saying. This is why nobody's covering this shit. Let's get back to the race baiting. That's better.
Fine.
Let me tell you that.
How exhausting, and this could just be, everyone's different, that's fine. But how exhausting to be in like a relationship where you can't joke about each other's cultures. Like if I was married to an Indian or a Mexican, like, you know what I mean? My sister-in-law is Mexican and we make jokes about each other's cultures. Like this.
You know why you're not making those jokes now? Why you can't make an example of those jokes? Because you don't want to get your fucking husband canceled. That's why. And you don't want to have a fucking million clips on World Star and Spiritual World and every other fucking network on fucking Instagram clipping you. You don't want that. That's why you say you make those jokes. Always be crazy. Like I used to tell Fatty when he was like, "Oh yeah, it was just a joke." Okay, if it was just a joke, repeat the joke then. Make us laugh. Make me laugh.
I don't think are people still getting canceled for racial insensitivity? I think racism is basically acceptable now. Look at Myron Gaines. That motherfucker's racist all over the place. He's a huge podcast.
But he has an audience that's predominantly white. I'll give you a good example. Brian McKnight, right? Brian McKnight was one of black people's fucking pillars of R&B. And then he got with a white woman, named his new kid Brian McKnight. And the black people turn their back on him to the point where he can't even fucking sell a fucking show now. And because his audience, because his music was predominantly R&B, which is, you know, at that point was very, very, very black. Most of his audience was black women, not even black men. So once he lost that audience, he was fucked. I mean, like super fucked.
Yeah.
But I agree. Myron and Fresh, they still got like 8 white women and black women around them every day. Those guys are gonna be fine. I'm saying Anton Daniels, I'll talk about it. I had Tommy here the other day. Tommy wanted me to come in his show. I probably won't make it this week because it's tonight, but I might go next Tuesday. But Tommy has black women around him to this day. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can carry out racist propaganda. Like I've never really had a lot of good things to say about white women. However, white women still like me. It's a real paradox. It's hard to even explain, to be honest, in a logical way. It really is, bro. I don't know how to explain it.
It doesn't need to be logical. I get it. I've experienced similar things. Some things aren't logical.
Unfortunately.
It's like living in a Fabergé egg, you know what I mean? Like living in just being so fragile where nothing is funny. But then I don't think they played it yet.
We're gonna play it. Let's go.
Don't get to the joke part soon because they're about to play it right now. The joke hypocrisy part, that's my 4th segment. I have all this scripted. But let me say this. If I have a white woman, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, coleslaw, bitch.
It's potato salad. Get that shit.
Yeah. You potato salad, pumpkin spice drinking bitch. So, like, I wouldn't find that funny if I loved a fucking white woman and I'm making jokes like that. I would find that to be degrading to her.
I don't know. I love white women and I find it funny.
Yeah, but let's say if you was dating a black woman, would you be like, you fucking fried chicken eating bitch?
No, but I probably asked to touch her hair a lot.
Yeah, but that's more of some woman shit because there's women of all races who don't like that shit, if I'm being perfectly frank, right?
Yeah.
But she's saying making jokes about their culture and race. That's something different.
You know, I think
that a Spanish woman in Chicago and touch her hair, that's an instant ass whooping.
I think that if you're with somebody, like the mutual understanding would be that you're with that person, right? Like you're not actually disparaging them because you chose to spend your life with them, and that any jokes about their cultural heritage is in good fun because you're part of that partnership more than you're like part of whatever Mexicanness or whatever it is. Like, this is the life you chose to have with that person. I think at that point, I don't know.
No, see, I think that's where it differ, and maybe because I don't have like too much experience with that. But if I had a white woman, I'm still a black man first. I'm still African American first. My culture still matters to me even more than this relationship. My descendants matters, you know what I'm saying, and my ancestors matter to me too. So to me,
Hold on, your identity as a black person matters more to you than the relationship you're in. I would never be in a relationship with somebody who cared more about their race than about the relationship that they were in with me.
That's probably why I can't be with a white person, because that's how I am.
I wasn't, it wouldn't have worked out between us anyways. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's a standard expectation. Like, that's an expectation where our starting point is just completely opposite. I would never consider being in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Like I always tell people when I came to YouTube, I was pushing black superiority. One could have said I was a racist, but the thing about it is I was a realist, and I still feel like I am a realist, and I'm a friendly, mostly logical guy when I want to be. The whole thing is this: that's where I start, end, and begin every damn thing. Right? As a black man, I can't see myself and identify another way. Maybe I was programmed that way, but it is what it is now. That's why every woman I've had children with has been black women. The one that they can say is somewhat mixed is my ex Janine. She's black and she's Creole, but both of her fucking parents are black. You know what I'm saying? So, and her father was from the Dominican Republic, right? So he was whatever you want to say about that. But outside of that, everybody else was just black. It wasn't that I was racist. I've had a lot of white girls I actually liked. I liked a girl named Hannah. She was from Frankenmuth, Michigan. Fucking father called me the N-word.
Shout out to Hannah from Michigan.
Bro, she had big titties. She was very pretty. She was tall. She was gorgeous. Right? It was she, it's crazy. She stopped fucking with me because of the situation with her dad. That's 100% facts on everything, bro. I couldn't believe that shit. As a matter of fact, I was mad at her for not being a fucking adult and saying, "What the fuck? Who the fuck was your dad thing? You a grown ass woman." But it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's the past. I'm married now.
Exhibit A and B, because to be honest, when they say we don't joke about each other's culture in front of the kids, it's really white men better not joke about black people at all.
Yeah.
Man, listen, these are the two clips we found.
But that mentality is the white daddy can't joke about black mommy because white daddy's better.
Right.
Right? Because you can't punch down. You can't joke down. White daddy's better than us, so he can't make jokes about us because that's not funny.
And watch what they do.
That is so inherently racist and disgusting to me because I don't think black people are better than me, so therefore I can joke about them.
Yeah, it's fair
It's a
game.
joke.
We're all
It's
the same.
funny.
It's fair game. Wrote a clip on.
After 10 years, I've never seen Brian do this until today. He's been doing it forever.
Consistently.
You're around my people, my people. I realize that Brian forces adapt.
Not forces, transition. Because y'all not about to Obama me. You know what I'm saying? You know that part where Obama's like, going through the line of people and then sees a white guy and he's like, I refuse. That's not happening to me.
And so how in the world do you do this?
Okay, it's actually really simple.
Hey.
So they go with the whole the white, but to pause it.
Yeah.
So you got the white man that goes around a black
handshake.
family, and he now got to dap up black people because that's what they do.
But I don't.
What's the problem, Tatum? What's the problem? When I step into another man's house, I abide by the traditions and rules of his house. Funny enough, my wife has a friend named Amber who has a white husband. We just went to go visit them maybe about a year ago now. He said, Darrel, I know you smoke a lot, Darrel. I heard you smoke every fucking day. I said, yeah, I do. He said, we can't smoke in this house. I mean, why not? Well, my daughter just had kids. My grandkids are here. So I can't allow that. You know what I did? respected his fucking house. I didn't say, come on now, you trying to treat me like a nigga because you a white man? I don't give a fuck about that. This is a man. This is a man who has built his home with his family. He's asking for something that's really trivial. Can you go and just smoke outside, smoke in your car, smoke in the backyard, do any fucking thing except smoke in the house? I said, okay, yeah. That's easy to abide by. He didn't say, hey, there's a toilet in the backyard that say niggas only. You got to use that toilet. He didn't say that. I mean, sometimes there's a difference between like respect and just getting along with the family. That's why I see that video as he's just getting along with the family, man. My bad. Go ahead, Flo State. My bad, bro.
No, that situation, like, why did you pointed out that you didn't treat it as him being racist. Why would you even consider it? Like the fact that you point out that you didn't treat it that way is surprising to me.
Which situation specifically?
Was asking you to not smoke in the house. Like,
yeah, because I met some dudes, right, who feel like when white people try to give them any kind of command or whatever, or
they get all uppity about it.
They act like it's about race.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not about that, or it's about superiority.
Okay, yeah.
When I like to really analyze the situation before I like deliver a verdict. And in his situation with Tyrell, he would just ask me, yeah, bro, I don't even smoke in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, fuck it. At that time I had rented a Mustang. I said, bro, we can go smoke in the Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. But it wasn't even about him. I found out his wife don't want smoke around the kids and shit. Which is, that's perfectly logical.
Yeah, even I didn't smoke in the house for my whole life until I started doing this YouTube shit. And then even now I just smoke in this room. But I misunderstood. I misunderstood the point you're making with that. It makes sense.
Yeah, because so like to Tatum's point, I don't think that this moment with the content creators is a racist one because he just want to dap them guys up and do what the black guys do. He's becoming acclimated to the culture that his wife come from, so they can become more comfortable around him and more accepted of him. That's not a problem.
I still think that, you know, I'm still going back to what we disagreed on earlier. I still think it's an inversion of priorities. But no, it's not my family. So
I agree.
Hey, I'm about to get out of here. I got to get some lunch, but let me ask you one question before I go. The phrase black neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Is used to describe poor neighborhoods.
Fair enough.
Do you
ghetto neighborhoods, dangerous
do
neighborhoods?
how do you feel? Do you feel any sort of way about that? Do you think that that's
racist?
Yeah, racist, self-defeating, counterproductive, like
true. I think it's true. When you look at predominantly black neighborhoods, as we talked about earlier, these are not neighborhoods where the men that are part of neighborhoods, do they own a Ford? Do they own a
I mean, if they own a Ford, the Chevy neighborhood is where you really want to be.
But you get what I'm saying, right? All of when you go to Detroit, Michigan, I can only like relate back to where I'm from, and you go to the surrounding areas. I took my wife there actually. I said, wife, you know what's crazy? About 6 miles outside of Detroit is the richest county in Michigan. It's called Oakland County, and if you go there, you'll see Lamborghinis, you'll see fucking Bugattis. It's almost like you're not 6 miles outside of Detroit. And guess what? No crime happens there. The gangsters don't come there and rob them niggas and take all their fine things. Why is that? Because they know better. You see, when you strip a community of everything, it's not just about racism to me. It's about what you talked about earlier. It's about social economics and power, which is rooted in racism because they want their own race to remain in power. That's what I believe personally. At the end of the day, though, when you talk about poor black cities, the difference between a poor black city and a poor white city is that poor white man, more than likely, like for example, Charlie Kirk grew up in Wheeling, Illinois. That's considered a poor white city, right? when you compare it to a city like Northbrook, Illinois, or Wilmette, Illinois, where there's fucking billionaires. However, when you look at Willen High School, where Charlie Kirk went to high school at, and you look at, I don't know, any fucking school on the south side of Chicago, you'll see the differences between poor whites, poor blacks. And then you can look at the community resources in those same neighborhoods. I think those are defining differences. And before you go, I'll end it here to give you a real life example.
Yeah.
Everybody know I went to Central Michigan, lived in Mount Pleasant, Michigan for years. My brother, when he got out of jail, he was trying to become a fucking truck driver. They was charging this motherfucker like $2,000 in Detroit. Couldn't find nobody to do it. He didn't have the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, bro, come live with me in Mount Pleasant for a while. You know what I'm saying? Get this shit off your mind. He found a program in Mount Pleasant that allows you to get your trucking license for fucking free. Ever since that day, he's a fucking truck. He's a truck driver. That's why his channel is called the Trading Trucker. At the end of the day, when I found out that there was individuals that was graduating, I think they was doing like 50 people per class. It was like every 3 months, and they was graduating people that was going in and making $100,000 with no investment, zero, just showing up. Whereas in other states, other parts like where I'm from, Detroit, it was no motherfuckers that was doing that. So to me, that seems like one of those resource differences based on communities. That's how I looked at it.
Fair enough. I personally think that if you want to point at anything as white supremacy in this country, it would be the that phenomenon like that, right? The fact that there is no such thing as a white neighborhood, as a black neighborhood. It's actually illegal, that sort of housing segregation. And the fact that we look at refer to these things as racial things when really we're talking about primarily poverty versus not poverty. I think that is racism or white supremacy, and I think it's internalized, ironically, primarily and most strongly amongst black communities. I don't know. I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
I'm gonna ask you one question to go to, and
yeah,
I know you got to go at it. So, why do you think that America never voted for a black president until Barack Obama?
I mean, the history of America. I mean, black people were behind socioeconomically, and if you're behind economically, you're gonna have a hell of a hard time funding a presidential campaign, right? Also, this, just media, especially several decades ago, right? It was white culture. You had white families on TV. I mean, I guess there's Bill Cosby, right? But it was culture. I mean, I don't know that there's a single answer to that
element to why we didn't have black presidents outside of economics.
I think that it would not sell. Yeah, I think that it wouldn't sell as well to the general public.
Is that because of economics or racism?
I think that the economics is what would prevent them from getting into a position where they're in the first place. But I think that the reason it would not sell as well as racial prejudice.
Do you think a black person in 1932 would have won Mississippi if they were financially straight?
No.
Why not?
Because of racism.
Let's say if a black person was financially straight, would they be able to go up against a white counterpart?
Today?
When we had our first president up until Barack Obama.
No.
That's the point, my brother. The financial thing is more
but when are we now? We're now.
We are now. Now we have
Donald I think Trump. Today they would. In fact, I've never seen anybody who had more popular support. I mean, Barack Obama's a rock star. Only president I've ever seen. He's campaigning, not even president his first term yet. And there's people running around with T-shirts of his face on it, like he's Tupac or something.
We just saw people vote in President Trump, who promised not to go to war, promised to bring down groceries, promised to bring down gas, promised not to have our troops dying, all of which he has failed on simply because they didn't want a black woman in office. That's just the facts.
I mean, that's not the facts. Kamala, that's not the facts right there. There's a lot of shit to hate about Kamala besides her race or her sex.
Maybe I should invite you for it, and we can do a debate on that. I would love to debate you.
Okay. I mean, I will debate that. That would actually be interesting. I'm setting up a lot more debates lately.
I've been seeing some of it. I'll be out the way. I'll be seeing you over there doing your thing. Sometimes you be with the Untouchables, and you be with some other people too. Sometimes.
I just got back from I did some debates at Debaticon, the event before it in Dallas recently, and then looks like on the 11th I'll probably be in Nashville debating, hopefully debating Enrique Tarrio, the president of the Proud Boys,
the Puerto Rican guy.
Yeah. So it's about 80% sure it's locked. It's not all the way locked in yet, but I'm hoping to about. And the topic would be whether, because I'm sure we both think that January 6th was a honeypot, but I think Trump was in on it and lured people, and he is a pro-Trump person. So, but yeah, anyways, if you want to do a debate sometime, let's do it. We can set it up.
All right, man. Get in contact with me and I'll be in touch with you too.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you, man. That was a good conversation, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap up Officer Tatum's wife, though. Let's go.
Really know that's, to me, that's not like a bad thing. It's like you just get in where you fit in.
Right.
Like if that's what they do, this is what we do here.
But the whole conversation that even had about that, as if your people are different than my people and you got to dap it up when you come over our house. But they don't have no videos of her going to the white side of the family. I have not seen no white people in none of their videos. Nobody from his family. Let's go to the other one where.
That's probably because his family secretly are racist. His family probably smile in her face and play behind her back. That's probably exactly what's going on. But I mean, that's just my educated guess.
She's making fun of him being white, him running through the snow.
But they don't make jokes about each other's cultures.
Right. Roll it.
There's some things you just can't change about people. You're crazy.
You crazy.
You can't take it out of them fully. It's in them.
It's in them.
But you will never see him in a video saying that about her.
Not changing the smoke. Not changing the smoke detector.
It's in him. This is beta male.
Oh, now he's a beta male. Beta. I'm gonna play Kevin Samuels.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
God forbid a man try to love on his wife. God forbid a man try to care about his wife. You pussy ass nigga. My wife says, let me go to my wife's comments real quick, guys. Let's go to these comments real quick. Hold on. What we got going on? Even the poorest white man still has whiteness compared to someone being black. Lyndon B. Johnson, I'm going to read this exactly how it is. Lyndon B. Johnson about how racism could be used to keep poor white people from recognizing their shared economic interests with poor black people. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best color man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Child. This is the facts. Good job, wife. Shout out to my wife. I think I taught her that. Team patriarchy. Psych, no.
Energy. Let me ask you this last question because, which one you think is worse? Do you think the white man married to the black woman with mixed kids are worse than the black man married to the white woman?
Why is that even a question? You know how weird that is? Hey, which one is worse? The black man married to the white woman with kids or the black woman married to the white man with kids? Which one was? Which one was? I also don't know. I said that's how niggas down there in the South talk. I said don't know. Thank God my nigga Drip got that. Never mind. Because I was about to say some racist shit. Because I feel like most of y'all niggas in the South stupid. I'm sorry.
I honestly believe.
What do you mean worse?
Worse meaning the worst way they raise their kids. Because I almost feel like that the white man married to the black woman. Well, it depends, right? Because I think if the white man is married to the black woman and the black woman is not engulfed in a black culture.
Yes. But I feel like the issue with, and I could be wrong.
Oh, so basically she's a white woman like you. If she's a white, because I'm telling you, Officer Tatum is truly a white woman, and his wife must be lesbo. That's how I feel about it. Because she don't want a real man. She want a woman that submit to her in the white culture. Oh yeah, God forbid the white man got a black woman that's engulfed in black culture. Whoo! Whoo! His hands gonna be full. That's what I don't like about y'all, bro. That's and listen, man, I might just cover the Nancy Clancy or Lindsay Clancy content. It's time to show y'all the real face of the white woman.
But I feel like my observation is that mixed kids who've got an issue, you know what I mean, with being mixed, is when they have parents like this, and I could be wrong, it's just an observation, but like mommy is overcompensating or mommy feels a certain way because she didn't marry a strong black man. She married a white man. So now, you know what I mean? We got to overcompensate for the blackness because we don't want you to think you're too white now. You know what I mean? Whereas white women married to a black, it's just like, that's daddy. You know what I mean? There's no, I don't feel a way.
We don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You sound just as stupid as your husband. You sound just as uneducated and I'm saying you can't make a fucking point just like your husband. I see the apple don't fall far from the tree. I see why y'all were meant for each other. I see why y'all were drawn to each other. Okay? If I couldn't be around somebody of this low IQ, I couldn't be around somebody who is clearly racist. I couldn't be with a woman who wanted to make jokes about my race. Oh yeah, Martin Luther, coon. You think that's funny? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure our son's gonna be basketball players. You know, they're black. They're gonna be great athletes. You think that's funny? The fuck?
Of like, he needs to get some whiteness in him because it's like you can shoot guns. You know what I mean? You can hunt. You can fight. You can like do all the things my white dad and white brother. You know what I mean? Does. So it's like, to me, you're like this. You are the same as my brother and my dad, like identical. You know what I mean? In a lineup, bam, 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 same. So I don't feel any like, what's the word? Like I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Where it's over there, I'm missing out on having a strong black man leading my household. So I got to overcompensate.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying.
Bitch, I don't like how you keep saying strong black man. Fuck is you talking about? Are you not being led by a strong black man? I mean, how do you see your man? Are you not being led by a strong black man as we speak? I get so confused. Like, as much as y'all talk about how trans people don't understand their identity, do your husband understand his? I gotta go. I'm sorry. We out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Listen, I'm looking at YouTube Studio. We did over 20,000 views today. Okay? We are getting more subscribers. The algorithm loves us. Okay? Yes, I'm wearing long john. It looked good on me. That's a fact. I got to get to work now. Keep me and my wife in your prayers. I will finish the Officer Tatum and his wife segments. We have more to talk about. We have more to break down. If you want to become a member, please join the members only because that's the only place I'm going to be posting exclusive content. And I also added in the Patreon link because if y'all want to see more videos like the ones with Obsidian, me and Taz and Princella, all that content I'm going to be posting to my Patreon very much soon. All right. Hit the Cash App. Support the channel. Cash App $DLon316. Shout out to OG Patrice. He just tapped in. We about to end it, but shout out to OG Patrice. We love you. With that being said, we are out of here. Oh, and before I go, where's my hold on. I'm about to post my Green Lantern video on my other channel, and then I'm gonna make a community wall post for y'all so y'all can go check that out. All right. The Green Lantern show is out. It does look fire. All right. This is my Green Lantern shit.
The light is on and the truth is coming. Watch my new Green Lantern review now on The Darrel Long Show. The light is on and the truth is coming. Watch my new Green Lantern review now on The Darrel Long Show.